The Indian Union Executive functions as a precisely calibrated constitutional structure, operating on rules that separate it from the daily turnover of parliamentary competition. This executive branch is built from 5 specific components: the President, the Vice President, the Prime Minister, the Council of Ministers, and the Attorney General of India. As the head of state, the President holds the highest office in the nation, yet the system is intentionally designed to insulate the position from the direct vote of the public. The authority of the office is expansive. The President serves as the first citizen and the supreme commander of India's defense forces. This concentration of titular power is managed through a framework of precise constitutional mathematics. To see how this system maintains stability, we must deconstruct the mechanics of the presidential election, the legislative vetoes at their disposal, and the legal hurdles required for their removal. Mapping these specific electoral and legislative levers reveals how the office is engineered to serve as a stabilizing center of gravity for the Republic. The President is chosen through a specialized electoral college. It relies entirely on a system of indirect election, where the public does not cast ballots directly for the candidate. Participation is strictly restricted to 2 groups: the elected members of Parliament and the elected members of the Legislative Assemblies, or MLAs, from the states and the Union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. The exclusion list is specific. Nominated members of Parliament and state assemblies, as well as members of state legislative councils, are barred from casting a vote in this election. This map illustrates how MLA vote values are determined, weighted based on the population of the state they represent. This creates significant variance. An MLA from Uttar Pradesh carries a vote value of 208, while Arunachal Pradesh carries just 8. The formula currently uses 1971 census data. It takes the total state population, divides it by the total number of elected MLAs in that assembly, and then divides that quotient by 1,000. This yields the specific MLA vote value. To balance state influence, the vote value of each member of parliament is fixed at 708. The system ensures structural parity. The total combined value of all MLA votes across India perfectly equals the total combined value of all MP votes. This mathematical requirement forces the President to hold a mandate that represents the central union and the collective states in equal measure. Once in office, the President utilizes specific legislative tools to interact with or bypass the standard lawmaking process. Under Article 123, the President possesses ordinance-making power. This allows for the immediate enactment of laws when Parliament is not in session, provided the Union Cabinet recommends the action. Ordinances are temporary. They cannot be used to amend the Constitution, and they automatically expire 6 weeks after Parliament reassembles, unless they are formally approved. When Parliament passes a bill, the President's role shifts to the veto system, which dictates how that bill becomes law. This table outlines a President's primary actions. The top row shows the absolute veto, where withholding assent ends the bill entirely, typically for private member bills. The second tool is the suspensive veto, which returns an ordinary bill to Parliament for reconsideration. However, this veto can be overridden. If Parliament passes the exact same bill again with a simple majority, the President is constitutionally required to sign it. National finances are treated differently. As the middle row indicates, the President is barred from using a suspensive veto on money bills. They cannot be returned for reconsideration. Finally, the pocket veto occurs when the President takes no action at all, leaving a bill in a state of indefinite suspension. Because the Indian Constitution does not specify a time frame for the President to act on a bill, this creates a significant difference from the American system, where action is required within 10 days. These vetoes and ordinances ensure the President acts as a constitutional checkpoint against the legislative branch. The very same Constitution that builds the office provides a specific path for its dissolution through Article 61. There is only one legal basis for removing a sitting President: a violation of the Constitution. The process begins with a 14-day notice, which must be signed by at least 1/4 of the members in the House where the charges are being leveled. The voting requirement is significantly higher. Impeachment requires a 2/3 majority of the House's total membership. If passed, the resolution moves to the second House for investigation, where removal only occurs if it also reaches that 2/3 total membership threshold. This process creates a notable shift in the voting population. The state MLAs, who were essential in electing the President, are excluded entirely from the impeachment process. Meanwhile, nominated MPs, who were prohibited from voting in the election, are given full voting power in this removal process. This structure ensures that while the election is a federal partnership, the removal of a president remains an internal function of the central parliament. To ensure the executive remains operational, the Constitution utilizes the vice president as a secondary structural layer, governed by a different set of rules. The vice president's electoral pool is narrower than the president's. It consists exclusively of the members of both houses of parliament, including nominated members, while excluding the states entirely. The daily function of the vice president is legislative, serving as the ex officio chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Their executive role is an emergency failsafe, triggered only if the presidency becomes vacant due to death, resignation, or removal. This emergency authority is time-bound. A vice president can only act as president for 6 months, the maximum window allowed before a new election must take place. Because the role is distinct, the path for removing a vice president is significantly more streamlined than Article 61 impeachment. A removal resolution must originate in the Rajya Sabha and pass with an effective majority of its members. From there, the resolution is sent to the Lok Sabha, where it requires only a simple majority for the removal to be finalized. These two offices are designed to work in tandem. The presidency provides a federal anchor for the state, while the vice presidency provides an immediate path for continuity. By combining a mathematically balanced presidency with a streamlined secondary office, the Union executive is built to maintain a stable head of state, regardless of the political or legislative climate.